Hello, friends. How are you guys today? Well, I am live streaming, and this is a test. I don't know if there's anyone out there. Let me see here. I'm just learning how to use this, so hopefully I can do this. Hold on one sec. There. Um, da, 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 da. Oh, there's people on. Hello, friends. It's good to see you. Hopefully, you guys are doing well today. And let's see, I'm looking for someone who's going to help me with this. And when you get on, my friend Alex is going to help me. So when she gets on, I will hopefully know. Oh, okay. I don't see anybody in the chat. So please bear with me for a sec while I get set up, because this is the first time I've ever done this. And I'm a little nervous, I'll be honest. Okay, so let's see. I don't see any chat going on. Let's see, participants. Dun, dun, dun. Show. Oh, goodness. Okay. 18. Okay. All right. Well, let's see. Okay, I don't know how to do this. I don't see anything in the chat, so I will just start talking. That's what I'm going to do. And my friend is messaging me, so hopefully this will all work out. Can you guys hear me? I don't know if anyone can write in the chat and let me know if you can hear me. I don't see anything right now. Okay. Edit. Dun, dun. No. All right. Well, I thought I would just talk to you guys today a little bit about the Schumann resonance and energy. If you guys have any questions, you can pop them in the chat. Oh, I have to hit the chat button. How do I do that? Let's see here. I really apologize to you guys, but that I just haven't done this before. Let's see. Chat button. The chat go. I don't know how to do it. Okay. All right. So hopefully one of you will help me figure this out. I have my friend Alex texting me. So, okay. Well, I thought that I would say hi and talk a little bit about the Schumann resonance. I would love to hear you guys' questions, which I don't have right now because I don't know how to turn the chat on. And maybe I'll just talk for a second, since some of you have joined me, about why I think the Schumann resonance is important and interesting. And what you could do is you could tweet questions at me. I have my Twitter up, and if you have Twitter, I could get them there. So I'll take a look at my notifications. Okay, so if you send me a question at Susan, then I'll see them at Susan Inspired. The Schumann resonance is a non-physical energy around the planet, and it's specifically in the range of 0 to 40 hertz. Post questions and I will send them on. Okay, so if you post a question on Twitter, my friend Alex is going to send them to me to at Susan Inspired. And then I guess you could also, I think that's the best way. If you want, you can post questions under my last video, and maybe Alex can check that too. So the Schumann resonance is a non-physical energy. It's from 0 to 40 hertz in the air around us, essentially. And why does that matter and why is that important? The reason that I found the Schumann resonance so interesting is because it allows me to talk about concepts with you that that we can use to learn to take better control of our lives and to make conscious choices. So, for example, when you look at the Schumann chart and you see how the energy is flowing, in a way, you could say it's akin to astrology if you're looking at it on a personal level. I'm not talking about scientists using data to measure this and that and look at a bigger picture. I'm talking about as human beings, right? How can we use this information? Well, one of the ways that we can use it is to understand how energy flows. And the 0 to 40 hertz range is the same range that our brain operates at. That's the range for the Schumann. Of course, it does go a little bit above that at times, like you guys have seen recently. So it doesn't seem like it's a coincidence to me that human brain waves and the Schumann operate at similar levels. I made a little chart for you guys to see. And let me see if you can see it. See that there? The Earth, the sun, and me. And here's the atmosphere around the Earth, okay? So from your feet up to the top of the sky, up to the top of the atmosphere, right? This is the range in which the Schumann operates. And as living human beings, we both swim in the energies of our atmosphere, and we also emit energies, right? Because we have the heart emitting an EM field and our brain constantly operating at 0 to 40 plus hertz. And how I look at this is as a whole system, the human, the earth, the sun, and all of the energies. And that's why I look at the solar flares as well and geomagnetics and things like that. But if you look at the Schumann chart today, for example, today it looks like there's not much going on. But what I see in the chart is a figure with a little box at their throat. Okay, so I see a round ball of the head chakra and then another ball for the body. And in between them, there's like a little rectangulish box. And in that little rectangulish box, what I see is a block to speaking, which is kind of interesting that occurred for me, that this occurred on the same day I'm doing my first live stream because I was really nervous this morning. After that figure, there's all these little shards of light, okay? They're very thin, and they go from close to 0 up until, I don't know, maybe 20 hertz or so. Hold on, let me see if there's a question. When I feel spikes, Patriot 8 asks, when I feel spikes, I feel heat on the top of my head and very top tips of my ears. Anyone else? Let me think about that for a sec. Or I feel exhausted like a wall hits me. Okay, this is perfect. Thank you for commenting on that, Patriot. This is what I was talking about how the energy affects us. For some of us, it affects us physically. And my question to you would be, how else does that translate for you? In other words, if you feel that you're feeling energy, right, at the top of your head, and then you're feeling exhausted. And let me see, what was it, the details of that? I feel heat and very top tips of my ears. I feel spikes. Okay, so if you're feeling energy like this, okay, in a spiky fashion, top of the head, at the top of the ears. Now, this is not a medical discussion. So if you have any medical issues, call your doctor, okay? This is only an energy discussion for entertainment purposes. But if you have energy that you feel is coming from the top, okay? So that would be your crown chakra and your head. You have your third eye here, your sixth chakra, the pineal gland, right? Which is There's light in the pineal gland. It's actually a connection to our souls. This is my view. The pineal is the connection to the soul's life in this universe, okay, in the created world. And then the ears would be hearing. Okay, so what I would do is if you're feeling those energies like that, my question would be, what does it mean for you? You know, and I would look at emotionally what's going on. I would look at what events in my life are going on, and I would look at how I'm feeling. And so to give you an example, okay, and then you can interpret this into your own experience. About 2 weeks ago, I had this incredible pain at my heart. And so it was non-medical. So let me be clear about that. But I had this pain and I had an energy at my heart. And so when it happened, I called in my guides and I breathed through it. Okay. I breathe in and out. And my guide showed me a process for doing this. The next day, I had a client who had a pain in that exact same area that was non-medical. Okay, she had already been to a doctor. And so we were able to talk through it. And I walked her through that same process. Now, 2 weeks later, this morning, I had another pain, okay? And what I've realized is that these are the pains of heartbreak that I'm having trouble speaking about. And this morning, those little shards that I was mentioning, and I was going to tell a story about them, they feel kind of like the energy that you just described, Patriot 8. They feel like shards poking me, okay? And in fact, today we also have several C-class flares. It's just poke, 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 poke from the sun, okay? So here's the system. Here's the sun, and it pokes the energy field, okay? It pokes the electromagnetic ring around the Earth, but also the electromagnetic ring around us. Hold on one sec here. That's cool. Okay. Nancy says, during downloads, I feel tingling in the pineal gland, eye of Horus. Okay. So we'll get to that in a second. So the poking, okay, what I realized today was that for me, what it meant was that I was moving through in my personal field the energy of heartbreak that I have felt in the past, okay? For various reasons, it's up, okay, with people nearby in my life. And we're at the beginning of the natural new year, the new moon in Aries. That was about, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, or a week and a half or so. April 13th, I believe it was. So here we are at the new moon. And what I realized was that I was feeling the pain all at once at the beginning of the year. And now I felt it again today. As the solar flares, right, they're spiking my field, as they are for us all. And my interpretation about this is it touches, okay, energetically within the field in a way that brings things to light for us so that we can better see them. And for me, it was experiencing this pain again this morning. And so what I did was I sat with it and I breathed through it. I let the energy flow through me, okay? Because energy is always wanting to be in motion and it's always moving. Even when it appears still, it's always moving. And so I used the Schumann. I felt what I felt, but I looked at the energies of the Schumann and I could see how it related to my personal life. So this is what I'm talking about understanding how energy flows outside of us, right? And we can use the Schumann as a measure of that. We can also use other factors as a measure of that. But then understanding how to relate it to our personal experience so that you can use this information to further yourself in your life, to achieve the kind of aims that you wish to achieve. Because if I can move the pain of heartbreak through my field, right, with the solar flares, assisting me to see the truth, okay, because surely this has been going on for some time in my life, but the flares, right? The pinging in, I could respond to it in different ways. I could deny it, okay? I could deny it, in which case there would be an energy buildup, right? I could resist from flowing, allowing it to flow forth, in which case there would be an energy buildup. Or I can use times like the past few days where we have this incredible, overwhelming pouring out of light into the field of the planet, which all of us human beings can take advantage of as we move into the new year. Okay. So on a personal level, I can look at this and say, okay, I'm going to allow this to clear so that I can open up the playing field. Now, here's the thing. I've spoken to two people this morning who are friends, and both of them woke up this morning and myself, and I'll just say that we all felt wrecked. Okay. Either people didn't get sleep or they just feel incredibly tired. And I'll tell you, I felt incredibly tired this morning, and I thought, why am I doing this live stream today? but I wanted to share with you, and I said I was doing it in part to make myself do it, to be honest. Um, so if we can understand how energy moves in the field and how outer influences affect us, then we can leverage this to make whatever progress we wish to in our lives, to heal emotions, to clear thought patterns that aren't working for us. And we can use these beneficially. Now, I wanted to talk about the comment about feeling something in the pineal. Where was that? Dun, dun, dun. All right. So Nancy commented that for her, this means a great connection with the God energy to help change me to crystalline and resonate higher. Okay. So how I see the human body, okay, is that it's like a form that is built on architectural grids, okay, just like a house. When you're building a house, you have a blueprint, okay? And there are these blue lines on white paper, right? Well, when I look at a human being, what I see is grid lines around their body. And there's a couple different levels of grid lines. There's golden grids, and then there's third and fourth dimensional grids. Thank you to whoever said that. I really appreciate it. That was really sweet. So anyway, so the human body, right, is basically compressed energy built on top of higher dimensional grids. And the grids are through all the dimensional layers, okay, in which we exist. And what do I mean by that? What I mean is that in the physical world, right, we perceive this as solid. So there are grids at 3D, 4D, and 5D and higher. Thank you, Reb Ned. And thanks for watching. Let me just say thanks to everybody for being here. I really, really appreciate it. There's a lot of people on this live stream, and I thought there was going to be 2 or 3. So I just really appreciate you guys being part of the audience, and I appreciate all your commenting on the channel. I appreciate your interactions with me, because some people do send me messages and things. And this is kind of what I've always hoped for. It's been many, many years in the making, and so I really appreciate you guys being here. I started to receive information about what I'm talking about, right? The grids of the body, how energy flows. It's always been a hobby of mine throughout my whole life to think about these things. But in starting in 2011, when I had my awakening, and then in 2012, I started to receive all this information. And the next year in 2013, I had this idea that I could talk about it share about it and maybe even have a community of people to chat with. And now it's 2021 and we're doing this. So thank you so much for being part of it. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Okay. So, so someone had asked about the pineal gland, and then Mitcha Pap, who's from Greece, thank you for listening in, said, just turned all the chakras, but the energy is very strong and the pressure is at the head. So this is another person commenting about head pressure. And Frank said, does anyone use Nikola Tesla music with positive results? Okay. All right. So at the head, I just wanted to talk about the pineal gland since everybody's focused on the head right now. This is my interpretation. Okay. Here's how I view the pineal gland. Okay. The heart chakra is our soul connection. Okay. That's where the life force, that the God force within us, the child of the creator that we are, that's where it activates and initiates and flows out to the whole of who we are, the body and the energy field. Okay. Now, the pineal is obviously part of this whole system. It's part of the chakra system also in the third and the fourth dimensions of the human energy field. But the pineal system, it's like a transmuter of light, okay, and information. The one way to think about it is when you take your electric appliance to another country, you may need to have a step down transformer, okay? Or you can also step up. But when we went to Europe, we had to bring a step down transformer with us to operate our appliances. And what the transformer did was it took the energy system of our electric appliance from the US and it stepped down the electricity and all the measures of that so that it could be used as an electrical system in Europe. Okay. So the pineal gland, in my view, both helps us step down and step up. So when a huge amount of light comes through, like it did over the last few days with this incredible wave of light, our pineal gland, this is in my view, okay, this is anecdotal, and it's based on experience and talking with a lot of people and doing a lot of sessions with people and exploring a lot of other information that I've researched. But basically, it connects us with essentially the light that we are in creation, meaning as a human being, okay, in what I call the created universe. Da, 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 da. Okay, so let me talk about the pineal, and this will answer some of the questions that people are bringing up. So in the center of the head, there's a processing of light, and when the light expands in our environment through whatever mechanism, and we can visually see that there was an effect of this over the past few days. It's my view that the pineal in the head helps process this for us at whatever levels our body receives in our energy field based upon our unconscious agreements and permission with our own soul in terms of our maturation, right? As a human being consciously living on earth within our human energy field, right? Emitting energy back and forth. So, okay, I just saw whatever that was. So I'm just going to clear that, okay, because I don't like big eyes looking at me. All right, now. So I was talking about electricity, right, from US to Europe and having to transform that. Well, you can step up and you can step down. So if you're having a spiritual experience, it's like you're stepping up, okay? And many of these experiences can be within the pineal. Okay, they can also be from within soul connection in the heart. But from within the pineal, it's my view that that's where we're connected with our past lives. And so when you're having experiences from this lifetime or others that you're engaging with, including beings who are in existence in our universe or our created world, our created universe. For example, people who communicate with non-physical beings. It's my view that the pineal is what's largely engaged in this. And once we learn how to engage in a prayerful state, okay, and I've called this in the video 0 point, a state of prayer connected with God, okay, a state of 0 point connected with the divinity that you are, your soul. And if you're a meditator, it's akin to a centered state. Okay, I was talking with a lady who's Christian the other day, and as we were talking, the energy was shifting, and the person was feeling this warmth come over them. And I said, "This is the 0 point that I was talking about." Okay, like it's that connectedness with God. Like if you feel an angel's hug, right? If you've ever um, needed the feel of an angel's hug or had something troubling going on and felt that those wings wrap around you, that's that similar state. So it's my view that when you consciously decide to, and I'm getting to the pineal and head questions here, when you consciously decide that you want to expand your consciousness and awareness, right? And you're making that choice to do that as a waking, living person, that's when the magic really starts to happen. Um, and so some of these experiences that you may be having, um, I'll just give you an example. What I feel that happens is that the grids can expand, okay, and can upshift. So usually we're in third or fourth dimensional grids, right, on which our body rests. And that initially, for many of us, for me anyway, was mostly my experience of the world, right? But then I had this non-physical experience. Well, that's a more expanded experience. But when you start to get to this real connected feeling with the divine, okay, however you call that and however you experience this, that's when you get this lighting up in the body. And I don't have scientific studies that I can quote to you, okay? I believe about this. And let me be specific about scientific studies about what? About the fact that our body and our energy field is shifting and expanding the dimensional state. Now, I don't even know if we have technology that can measure it. But what I do know is that I have a personal experience and interacting with many people, okay, in various sessions and experiences where I've tested this out. I've tested it out. I've tested it out. I've tested it out, and it is real. Okay, so let me see if there's any others. Cal said, in practice this morning, the light was strong. Worldwide and galactic connection was beautifully full. I had it in my mind to contact you. Well, I'm glad you're here on the live stream, Cal. Thank you. Thank you for joining. And then M. Cobb said, I recently had some shining experience while trying to sleep at night. It was like it was flashing and saw white light. Okay. I just want to, we just talked about the pineal, and I just want to finish that up with saying that I believe that consciously having a spiritual practice or an energy practice in these times is highly, highly beneficial. And the reason why is because however you choose to do that, when you choose to consciously engage with light, and specifically the light of who you are, it shifts your state of being. And I'm going to finish up soon, okay? But it shifts your state of being to to a place where you can consciously manage the energy coming through your field and that you are emitting. And this is why these practices are so important in my view, and the information about energy and how I can manage my personal energy field, about how the human energy field functions, and I include the body in that, okay? The reason why is because as I shift and I heal and clear my field so that I can be in a centered place of neutral, I approach the world in a much different way, okay? And it's so up right now, the polarities in the world. Okay. I'm going to address the last two questions in a second, okay? And then we'll finish up. But we go through life unconsciously, putting our stake in the ground, living committed to one side of duality or the other. And I'm addressing a lot of concepts here, okay? So through my videos, I go through pieces of each of these concepts, and I'll continue to unwind them in future videos. But we go through unconscious, and we're unconsciously creating when we do that because we have the God force within us, okay? So as we learn to manage these energies and how they flow through us and how they can directly affect our lives, what happens is that we can change our world personally. I change my life. And there's example after example that I could give you of this, where a person shifts their energetic position and the world around them changes. But the greatest shift comes when we learn to be in that God-connected state. And that is also a place where we're able to most fully absorb these energies. And you know what? This happens at all levels. There's no bar. We're all having our experiences. And as my friend Alex says, all of them are valid. And I want to thank Alex so much today for handling the comments through Twitter. I want to thank all of you guys for being here. And I want to agree with the last two people who commented, with Cal and with JBR Artscapes. I've received downloads in the form of writing poetry and speaking light language. I don't know where it's coming from, but I love it. Ultimately, the light does not come from outside of us, friends. The light comes from within you. So the light that you see in the Schumann chart, okay, and I want to just see if you can get your head around this, because everybody talks about incoming energies, right? From the solar system, from the cosmos. And indeed, in a physical linear perspective, it appears that these come from outside of us to our planet. But what I want to assert to you is that these things that you are experiencing are coming from within you. It's the light within you reaching out for an experience with you. And that light, in my view, is divinity itself, the living substance of who you truly are, the truth of the frequencies of your soul specifically, reaching out to connect with you. Now, that doesn't mean that there aren't interlopers, and if there are, we can just clear them, as I did on the video earlier. And there's many techniques for doing that. But this is the idea that I'd like to leave you guys with, for those of you that brought up, where is this coming from? Like, how do I now know light language? It's coming from within you, both the soul connection, your true soul path expressing through you, okay? And it could just be that you sit in your apartment, okay, and pray, or in your home and pray for those around you, or that you live life simply, okay, pouring out love. That is an amazing way to live. So I don't want to, everybody has different experiences. There's no right or wrong or best, okay? The experience that you're going through is perfect for you, and a perfect expression of your soul and your soul's light. So the wave that come out on the Schumann resonance, let me assert this and let me suggest this. What if it's us returning to ourselves? I said that I had the feeling that it had actually come from a future with like a full stop, okay? Because there's a whole bunch of chicanery going on in the world, isn't there? So what if we brought the light to ourselves through our own connection with the divine and our connection in the pineal with our other selves that might be present in alternative realities or our future or whatever it happens to be, because I'm a big uh, interdimensional physics girl. But what if we brought it from our future selves to our present now? And we did that to change both our personal world, knowing that it would then change the world around us. Now, how do those changes unfold? That's in alignment with divine will. When we receive the light, we get the impulses of what we want to do with it, and then it flows out to the world around us. And what someone does with that is up to them. All right, guys, friends, thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Alex. Thank all of you for bearing with me. I promise to figure out how to use the chat box. And have a wonderful day.